Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something usually pretty routine, a short commercial flight in Europe.
Right.
But we're using this one specific, really bizarre incident to dig into just how complex international air travel security is and how fast things can go wrong.
Exactly. Our mission here isn't just to sort of point at the weirdness, though it is weird.
Oh, it's definitely weird.
It is. But we want to analyze the actual procedures.
Yeah.
What happens step by step when something like this occurs? How does a routine flight turn into a major security event?
And the trigger event we're focusing on involves a fundamental rule. You need valid ID to travel internationally.
And what happens when that rule is deliberately broken, violently even? This specific case involves a Ryanair flight, Milan to London Stansted.
Okay.
We're going to break down the sequence when two passengers decided mid-flight that their passports needed to disappear, which forced an emergency diversion to Paris.
Yeah, disappear is putting it mildly. The source material is pretty vivid. We're talking about one passenger actually tearing cages out of his passport and eating them.
Eating them? Yes.
While his friend runs to the back and tries to flush his own passport down the airplane toilet.
I mean, it's not just unruly behavior, is it?
Yeah.
It's a direct attack on the system that verifies who is actually on that plane. It attacks what we call manifest integrity.
Manifest integrity. Okay, let's get into the timeline. This wasn't deep into the flight, was it?
No, not at all. That's one of the striking things. Milan to London, you expect maybe turbulence, not this.
Right, not a passport buffet.
Exactly. The witnesses say this all kicked off just maybe 15 to 20 minutes after takeoff.
So barely airborne.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just as the seatbelt sign goes off, people are starting to relax, maybe think about getting a drink.
And suddenly this happens.
Suddenly, yes, you're still climbing, the crew's shifting gears from safety checks to service, and boom, you potentially have a level 4 security threat on your hands.
Level 4. Wow. That's the highest, isn't it? Like attempted hijacking kind of level.
Can be, yes.
Yeah.
It signifies an imminent threat to the safety of the flight. And classifying document destruction this way, well, it tells you how seriously authorities take it.
So even though it wasn't maybe immediate violence towards the plane, destroying your ID in the air is seen as that severe.
Absolutely, because it undermines the entire border control system. Who are you? Why are you hiding your identity now in international airspace? It instantly flags as a major security breach.
Okay, so the first guy starts eating his passport pages. Passengers see this. Alarm bells, obviously.
You bet. And the crew has to switch instantly from serving drinks to managing a potential high-level threat. That's a huge mental shift.
I can only imagine. And then almost right away, the second guy makes a run for it.
Yeah, sprints to the back, locks himself in the lavatory, trying to flush his passport.
So you have two different methods, really. One, very public and shocking. The other, hidden, forcing a confrontation.
And both achieving the same goal, or attempting to. Erase their official identity from the flight record while airborne. It's a clear attempt to disappear from the system.
Okay, so chaos erupts. How did the crew handle this initial phase? They tried to intervene, I assume.
They did. Standard procedure first. Flight attendants went to the lavatory, tried to talk to the guy, pleaded with him to open the door. De-escalation 101.
But he refused.
He refused. And that refusal, combined with what they already saw the first guy do, well, that escalates things way beyond a standard unruly passenger situation.
Right. Refusing a direct crew order during an active security event like this is a major red line.
It is. At that point, the cockpit has to be informed immediately. The situation is now officially out of the cabin crew's direct control and requires pilot intervention, potentially diversion.
Meanwhile, what about the other passengers? The source mentioned pure confusion. No one on board knew what was going on. These people were acting weird.
And that confusion, that ambiguity, it's dangerous in itself, isn't it? It can quickly turn anxiety into real panic.
Yeah, absolutely. So the crew needed to communicate something.
They did. The air hostess made an announcement over the PA system, but the witness described it as blunt and to the point.
And that apparently freaked people out to another level.
Yeah.
Which raises a question, doesn't it? If the announcement made things worse, was that the right call? Shouldn't they aim for calm?
That's a really valid point.
Yeah.
Standard practice is transparency that aids control. You want to inform, but avoid mass panic.
So blunt might have been counterproductive.
It might have been perceived that way. It suggests the message wasn't focused on reassurance, but maybe on the severity and the immediate need for compliance. Like signaling, this isn't normal, we have a serious problem.
Essentially saying, forget London for now, this is an emergency.
Pretty much. It signals they've moved past routine handling and into emergency procedures. The priority shifts entirely to securing the aircraft and dealing with the threat.
Okay, so the situation is clearly unmanageable in the air. They can't continue to London. The pilots decide to divert. Why Paris? Was that just the closest?
Not necessarily just closest, though geography plays a part. It's more about logistics and legal jurisdiction. They knew they couldn't land in the UK with passengers who'd destroyed their ID.
Ah, because the UK has stricter border controls, being outside Schengen.
Exactly. Landing in Paris, within the Schengen area, makes the immediate handover to authorities potentially simpler. French police can detain and process them without involving UK border force right at that moment.
That makes sense. It contains the problem within Schengen initially.
Right. It allows the pilots to offload the security issue to a major international airport with strong enforcement quickly. Plus, declaring that level 4 security threat for the diversion request, that changes everything with air traffic control.
How so? What does ATC do differently?
A security diversion gets top priority, like highest priority, often even above a medical emergency.
Wow.
ATC clears the airspace, gives them direct routing, basically gets them on the ground ASAP, which usually means a very rapid, steep descent.
Which explains why that witness called the descent into Paris the most terrifying 15 minutes of my life.
Precisely. It's not just the mental stress of the situation, it's the physical sensation of the plane making a non-standard emergency approach. That rapid descent profile combined with the fear.
Yeah, harrowing.
Okay, so they land in Paris, wheels down. What's the immediate next step on the tarmac?
Immediate intervention. French authorities, border police, gendarmerie, whoever handles airport security, they board the plane the second it's safe.
Straight on board.
Yep. Priority 1. Secure the individuals. Arrest them. Neutralize the immediate threat. Begin the legal process for the border breach, document destruction, endangering the flight, etc.
But arresting the two guys doesn't solve the whole problem for the flight, does it? This is where it gets really disruptive for everyone else.
Absolutely. Because now you have the logistical nightmare. They have to search the entire plane.
Why? The culprits are caught?
Because the act of destroying identity documents raises red flags about what else might be going on. Are these guys connected to something bigger? Did they ditch something on the plane, contraband, anything before they were caught? Ah, I see. So because these two breach security and introduce this unknown risk, the authorities have to assume the plane itself is no longer secure.
Exactly. The term often used is security sterilized. They have to re-sterilize it before it can safely continue, especially into a country like the UK with its own security posture.
And that means searching everything. All passengers' bags, the cabin.
Everything. Thoroughly. They need to be absolutely certain nothing was left behind and that everyone else on board is who their documents say they are.
Wow. And the source says this took about 2 hours.
Roughly 2 hours, yes. Think about that. Hundreds of innocent people, already stressed, now subjected to a full security search because of two individuals. That's the ripple effect.
That's a huge delay. And the knock-on effects for the airline, for Stansted waiting for that plane.
Massive. A 2-hour grounding messes up the entire schedule. That plane is late for its next flight. The crew might run out of duty hours. Subsequent flights get canceled or delayed.
Yeah.
It impacts potentially thousands of people down the line,
Right.
all from one passport being eaten and another flushed.
It really highlights the fragility or maybe the strictness of the system.
It does. The enforcement mechanism kicks in hard and fast.
Yet, despite all that fear and delay, the witness did praise the Ryanair crew, said they were brilliant.
Which speaks volumes about their training, doesn't it? Managing a level 4 event, an international diversion, police handover.
And then having to switch back to customer service mode.
Exactly. Trying to bring some sense of normalcy back. The source mentions they gave out free drinks as they were finally approaching Stansted.
A small gesture, but probably much needed after that ordeal.
A crucial attempt to manage the psychological aftermath for the remaining passengers. Definitely.
So wrapping this up, the big takeaway seems to be the sheer speed and severity of the response when fundamental travel rules, like having ID, are deliberately broken.
Absolutely. It's not just about being unruly, it's about challenging the system's integrity.
And that quote from the passenger just sums it all up. I'm just really fucking glad I landed.
You can understand that feeling completely. And connecting it to the bigger picture, think about the coordination needed here. Italian ATC, French police, UK border requirements, all activated instantly by this one event.
It shows how interconnected that safety net is.
A complex web, tested in real time by essentially an attempt to delete an identity midair.
Just wild. Okay, so for you listening, here's something to mull over. Does the method of destruction matter legally or from a risk perspective? Is eating a passport somehow different in the eyes of security than trying and maybe failing to flush one?
That's a fascinating legal and procedural question. Is successful destruction worse than attempted?
And on the flip side, what's the specific legal basis that allows authorities in one country, like France here, to compel hundreds of passengers who've done nothing wrong to undergo a 2-hour search of all their belongings because of two other people? Where's that line between collective security and individual rights when identity itself is under attack?
Lots to think about there regarding security, process, and liberty.
Indeed.
We'll leave you with that. See you next time on The Deep Dive.
See you next time.